All right. There it is. Browns lose against the Jets. It's disappointing. It's frustrating. Not just because of how they lost the game with all the stuff that happened before the game, but also how they played in that game. And I'm going to get to all of that. I'm going to get to all of it. But right now, the people I need to talk to are the people in the chat. Because there are some people who are acting as if the season's over. It's nowhere near over. It isn't. You know, the Browns, all they got to do is win against Pittsburgh. And I know all they got to do, win against Pittsburgh, two things that don't come soon and easy. But if you win against Pittsburgh, you're in the playoffs. You're going to play Pittsburgh if you make the playoffs, regardless of what happens. Like, I think it would take a bunch of different things. So it's either you play Pittsburgh 2 weeks in a row or you go home. That's the situation you're in now. Sure, you could have had it the easy way, and you could have beat the Jets. But you had Jamarcus Brantley and Marvin Hall as your best receivers because you had to follow protocol and do the rules we all agreed to at the beginning of the season. Can't do nothing about that. And I think the thing that helped hurt the team more was Jedrick Wills not being out there. You can deal with one replacement lineman, and I'm not going to get to the super chats right now, but I'll get to them later. But, you know, you can deal with one replacement offensive lineman, but you can't deal with two replacement offensive linemen. And what was it all game? It was Kendall Lamb and Nick Harris getting beat, Baker having to rush, throw the ball, Baker fumbling the ball. You know, these are all things that happen because your offensive line just wasn't healthy. You could not run the ball to save your life today. Now, the Jets are a good run defense team. Add that on top of you only got 3 of your 5 starting linemen out there. Inexcusable. Well, not inexcusable, but, you know, understandable. Stinks, but whatever. Now, the place that has no excuses is the defense. What in the world happened there? Why did you give up 2 of the easiest touchdowns I've seen this defense give up against the Jets? I don't know. Why was Jamison Crowder all of a sudden Tyreek Hill today? I don't know. I can't explain those things. I knew this defense was bad, but you're going to let the Jets come out here play like the Chiefs in the first half? Ridiculous. Just a ridiculously poor effort. The secondary is a disaster. I'm sorry. The secondary is the communication in the secondary has been a disaster since training camp. It's been a disaster. I remember, you can go back if you don't believe me. Click on those videos. I was, especially after the first padded practice that they had. Click on that video. What was I complaining about? Boy, the secondary does not know how to communicate with each other. Now we're sitting here in the end of the year, December 27th, and this defense literally can't stop running into each other. Can't not get picked. Can't not do it. And boy, aren't the Pittsburgh Steelers going to run a ton of pick plays on you, so you better figure that out today. Ronnie Harrison better be the solution, because if he's not, you're going to have a rough time stopping the Pittsburgh's offense who woke up this week. That's just what it is. That's the situation you're in. You have to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. If you beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, nobody's going to remember this goofy Jets game. Nobody's going to remember it if you beat the Steelers. If you do that, that's what's on the line. You beat the Steelers, nobody cares. You lose to the Steelers, I don't know what you blame it on, dog. Because you can blame this on 2020 or Jarvis not being out there, but you know what? You still should have won this game. And you probably should win the game against the Steelers. You the one who needs it. They don't need it. You need it. See, we already got people coming in here with some, I appreciate the super chat, but Bearded Joey Hookham says they rescheduled the Ravens game. Why not the Browns? Let me explain to you why they rescheduled the Ravens game and not the Browns. The Ravens had a legitimate outbreak. They had like 5 or 6 guys who had it, and then a bunch of guys who were close contacts. They didn't have enough guys to play. That's why the Baltimore game got moved. I'm tired of hearing about the freaking Baltimore game. Who cares? I don't care that Baltimore got their game moved back to Tuesday. Nobody cares. Stop complaining about what Baltimore got. It has nothing to do with Baltimore didn't beat you this week. Stop complaining about Baltimore. You moved the game 2 days back. You still don't have anybody. You still got your Marcus Brantley out there. It doesn't matter. I am tired of hearing about Baltimore. Stop complaining about Baltimore. Baltimore took care of business. They're in the playoffs now. Who cares? The NFL moved the Baltimore game. They didn't move your game. You still had to win this game. Stop talking to me about Baltimore. I don't care. I'm not going to play victim. I'm not going to do conspiracy theory Browns fan on this stream. I'm not doing it. I'm not making the excuses. You should have won this game. You should have. You did not. That's it. Point blank. It ain't the NFL's fault. It ain't COVID-19's fault. It ain't the organization's fault. The Browns lost that game. Why? Because they could not cover Jamison Crowder. That's a sentence. They lost that game because Baker couldn't hold on to the ball. They lost that game because they could not consistently run the ball all day. They lost that game because Kendall Lamb couldn't win any one-on-one block. Neither could Nick Harris. They won that game because for whatever reason, the one team that stands to lose everything if they win wanted to win that game more than the team that needed to win it. That's it. If you want to sit here and go same old Browns and cry your eyes out and talk about how you can't beat Pittsburgh and how it's impossible and how they always hurt you, have a good day. I'm not doing that. I'm not about to do the woe is me, oh, poor Browns, all the Browns always do this to you. I don't care. The fact is you can beat Pittsburgh next week you're in. That's it. So do it. That's the only option. I don't care about what Baltimore, if they got special treatment or not. I don't care. I don't care what Dez Bryant had. I don't care about anything else other than winning the Pittsburgh game. That's what matters. Getting into the actual playoffs. That's what matters. None of this matters if you win next week. So please, don't piss me off in this stream again. I don't want to talk about Baltimore. I don't care. Baltimore got some breaks. You didn't. Boo-hoo, wah-wah. That's the NFL. You got to win the games. You got to win the games. And the Browns didn't win the game. Now let's talk about the game a little bit. I'm going to try to get to some of these super chats. I know I jumped off on a few of them. This one comes from M. All right, boss man, we're going to be okay. We're going to be all right. We just got to beat the Steelers. We got to do it the tough way. You know, at Cleveland, we like doing it the tough way. Dave May says, wide receiver room being empty had nothing, no turnovers, not getting off the field. Baker 3 fumbles. You lost the turnover battle, you lose the game. That's what happens. I don't care who you got out there. You lose the turnover battle, you lose the game. This next question comes from Chosen Cartel. Is that right? Yeah, Chosen Cartel. Says, love how you keep a cooler head. I didn't really keep a cool head in the last few minutes. It hurts losing, but how real do you keep it? Looks like nobody wants to send super chats during the loss. I got you, fam. No, people are sending it. People are respecting it. Shout out. I see Sonny in the chat. I know Sonny's happy. Raven fans are happy. You let the door in. You let the Ravens in. And the Ravens are the hottest team in the NFL right now. So that's not good, you know. But, hey, I don't care. The Ravens are going to do what the Ravens are going to do. The only way you're going to see the Ravens this year in the playoffs is if you make it to the AFC Championship game. So who cares if the Ravens made the playoffs? That means you did something spectacular. You got to make the playoffs first. Next question comes from Ask the Right Questions, who says, do you think Joe Woods needs to be gone after this season, or is the secondary just bad minus Denzel Ward? You know, be honest with you, secondary sucks, and I don't think it's all personnel. I think it's definitely part on Joe Woods. What about this scheme is so hard for people to communicate in that we're having miscommunications on basic cover 2 schemes every play at the end of the season? I don't know what it is, but that definitely sounds like it's coaching, so somebody needs to be fired. Whether it's the secondary coach, whether it's Joe Woods, and Joe Woods is supposed to be the secondary guy. So, I don't know what it is. I'm sorry if I could not get to your super chats. I'm behind on them. Malty Cushy says the Browns will everyone be back next week in the playoff picture? We're going to get to the playoff picture. We're going to get to will everybody be back? We're going to get to all of that. We're going to get to all that in this stream. I promise you. Just trying to catch up on some super chats. Truth. We will beat Pittsburgh. Let's go. That's what we need to do. I don't want to hear some same old Browns where Pittsburgh's our daddy. They're going to spank us again. Like, stop being defeatist about this whole situation. The Browns can beat Pittsburgh. If they beat Pittsburgh, they're in. That's the situation. You want to worry about the Ravens like we got a good seed? No, we not worried about the Ravens. The Ravens are doing whatever the Ravens are doing because the Ravens are making the playoffs. The Browns, they got to get there. So, I'm not worried about the Ravens, dog. All right, so let's talk about the defense because that seems like a hot topic. The defense was hot trash today. Myles Garrett still recovering. Looked like he had the first step in the first half. Did not have the first step in the second half. Your defensive line could not get pressure. Larry Ogunjobi played like Duke again. Glad to know he's doing that. Super chat from LA Max who says the little rant got me out my feelings. LML. Beat Pittsburgh, thank you. That's all I try to do. I'm not trying to fire nobody up or say anybody's a real fan or not a real. I'm just trying to let people know what the situation is. Like, this is football. This is sports. We're not about to do conspiracy theories. You have a final score for the reason to avoid that. So, you lost. Suck it up. You beat Pittsburgh next week. The good news is that you still control your destiny. Bad news is you might have to play Pittsburgh 2 weeks in a row, but hey. Get that monkey off your back. Richard Gonzalez with the $20 super chat. He says, I wish Baker would have went Marvin Hall more, but more reps needed. This is a team loss. Browns will be fine. Browns will beat the Steelers next week. Hopefully, man. Hopefully. It's a rough deal. And I know the receivers being out affects the offense in so many ways because this offense is all about timing. You got new guys in who haven't taken reps. You got no timing. It's just a hard blow. But we'll get to that when I talk about the offense. The defense had no excuse to be this bad. I mean, I know B.J. Goodson was out, but come on, man. If you're telling me B.J. Goodson's the difference in his defense, and the defense was never that good to begin with. Nobody did a good job. Nobody deserves a pat on the back. Everybody deserves to get pooped on. It was awful. Defense stunk. You let Sam Darnold score 20 on you. Sam Darnold sucks. He's terrible. They're not good. Nobody on the Jets offense is good. Nobody on their team is like Mekhi Becton's good, and that's it. And it may be Crowder. Crowder's decent. $5 super chat from Ohio Outdoors. You said last week you liked what you saw in the defense. I thought they were garbage. I saw what we saw. Okay, I don't know how you saw from when they held a team to 3 points to what you saw today. This one comes from Steven Gobson who says, when feeling down, I throw a dart at Hugh Jackson picture. Oh, okay. But we good family. Steelers don't stand a chance now that we have to fire lit under the butts. I hope that's why they come into it. I hope they don't come in limping into that game. Oh, poor me. We had all this stuff go wrong in week 16, and now we can't beat the Steelers. I don't care. I don't care what happened week 16. You got to do it week 17. So the defense, long story short, hot garbage. Hot garbage. You can't tell me a player who played bad. Mac Wilson was awful. Mac Wilson showing why he's on the bench. Because he likes to play hero ball, and he's no good at doing it. Get him off the field. Get him off the field. He sucks. The defensive line didn't show up. $2 super chat from Bill Clinton. Okay. What needs to happen to go to the playoffs? I'm going to get to that real quick. Let me recap the game real quick. So the defense stuck. The offense was terrible, but the offense at least has excuses. No offensive linemen. No wide receivers. Harrison Bryant out here dropping By the way, Harrison Bryant, man, come on, dog. Why are you dropping everything? Well, are you that scared to fumble that you're going to drop everything now? Just get him off the field. He needs to get off the field. If he can't catch the ball, what's the point of having him on the field? Cody Parker is starting to be an issue. I mean, Cody Parkey stunk today too. Don't get me wrong, but Cody Parkey ain't the reason you lost. He missed that field goal, the extra point, but it's more about it. The extra point should have never mattered. But yeah, I get it. Cody Parker out here dinking it off the upright 2 weeks in a row. That's no good. That's no good. But you got no other choice. You're stuck with them. It's too late. And that is what it is. But, you know, the offense stunk. Baker was all right for most of the game, but he fumbled 3 times. You fumble 3 times, you lose a football game. That's it. You know, I don't care who you're playing. I don't care what's going on the other side of the ball. I don't care what's going on your side of the ball. You lose. You do that, you lose it. This one comes from Ecstatic Carson, who says, do you think the Steelers will risk their starters getting hurt against us next week? Are Browns fans going to hit the panic button, but not me, true Browns fan? I don't think the Steelers are going to necessarily hit the panic button. I mean, not the panic button, but the bye-bye button. I don't think that's going to happen. We got another super chat from my guy Jacob Schreiner Briggs, fellow YSU alumni, who says, God bless, go Gwins, and go Browns. Thank you for that, Jacob, man. Hope you're doing well, my man. Oh, man, we got a bunch of super chats I'm trying to get to here. M says, watch the end of the game in Steeler Fanatics Man Cave Pain. We're coming for them next week, though. Yeah, we got to, right? Love your show, dude. Thoughts on Hooper from Kyle Benner. Kyle, Hooper stinks. He's a great pass blocker, but he drops the ball too much. He doesn't make plays. He kind of stinks. You know what I mean? I hope he proves me wrong, but he kind of stinks at this point. Sean Ballantyne with another $5 super chat who says that wasn't a fumble, never touched the ground, should be considered a pitch or a lateral. Yeah, we can argue semantics about it, but like the point that you even got to argue semantics on a play against the freaking Jets, who have 2 wins now, you didn't show up enough. Like I'm not about to litigate this like this. I'm not about to try to like split hairs on this loss. The fact that you lost to the Jets is enough. Like there is no splitting hairs on this. Like you shouldn't have lost that game. You know? I know people want me to do it. I can't freaking do it. I can't get myself to do it. By the way, you had all kind of idiotic penalties this week. You had somebody false start on the punt. You had somebody else roughing it, running into the kicker, costing you valuable time. This next question comes from Jake Evans, who says the boys will be fired up and Miles is going to obliterate Big Ben next week. Hopefully. All right, man, let's just get to these playoff scenarios. Let's see what has to happen, right? Because, oh, boy, let's see what has to happen. All right, so we're going to talk playoff scenarios, man. It does not matter any of these NFC games, so we're just going to fill these in. Let's say in this first scenario that Green Bay beats the Titans, right? So week 17, you know, we're going to fill in all the unimportant games. So we got the Eagles, the Packers versus the Bears. Let's say the Bears win that because the Packers don't need it. You know, the 49, the Vikings, the New Orleans wins, freaking Bucks, Raiders, the Rams, 49ers. Let's just go with that. New York. What's going on here, man? Super chat from Bearded Joy Hookham, who says, I'm just upset we lost today. I get that. I get people are upset. I get people want to like, I get it. You know, this is a very upsetting day, but you know, can't let that be an excuse. This is so right now we're doing the playoff scenarios. All right, let's say the Chiefs win. And then now we're in these scenarios. Now, what is very likely? Shout out to Feeling Dangerously with the $50 super chat. Let me try to get to it right here so I can read it on air. My guy says Chubb did not run on 4th and 1. That's a shame. You got maybe the best back in the NFL. Give it to him at the end of the game on the line. He wasn't even out there. You know what I mean? He wasn't even out there. That's what's upsetting about that. You know, I get they had the success with the QB sneaks and everything, but you just gotta be better than that. Mad at says, well, I did shed a tear, but it's on to the next game, 1-1. That's all that matters. Thanks for the content. Appreciate you. But let's get into this playoff scenario. Let's say the Colts win, the Titans win, the Ravens win, and Miami wins, but the Browns win. Browns are in, and they play Pittsburgh. So that's what you need to know. If everything does not go the Browns' way and they get zero quote-unquote help, they're still in. Mad at says, well, I did. Okay, yeah, I read that one already. So that's what you need to know. That's the most important part about all of this. Even if everybody else in this stupid playoff race wins, you're in, but you're playing Pittsburgh again. 2 weeks in a row, you're going to play Pittsburgh. That's the most important part. If there's like an upset here, you're still playing Pittsburgh. If there's multiple upsets here, then you're playing Tennessee. But Ravens ain't losing the Bengals. And when the Jaguars beat the Colts, you're still playing Pittsburgh. You get what I'm saying here? So here's the scenario. Pittsburgh is going into this game knowing that if they lose this game, they're going to see you again. They probably would rather not see the Browns again, because if they do win that game, let's say they tie or win. Oh, if they tie, the Browns get in. I didn't even know that. But let's say the Steelers do win that game and, no upsets happen, right? The doomsday scenario. Browns miss the playoffs. They play the Colts, who they already beat. So if you're Pittsburgh, you probably want to win that game. They're probably going to suit up. They have not been playing good football as of late. They want to keep that momentum going. I assume that they're going to play. Finns aren't beating the Bills. It don't matter if the Finns beat the Bills. The Bills win, Browns in, we play the Steelers. It don't matter what anybody else does. Unless the Ravens somehow lose this game against the Bengals, it don't matter what anybody else does. We're playing the Steelers next week, and if we get it next week after that, the week after that. But shout out to you, Michael Matee. So that's the playoff scenarios. That's the situation. I'm still frozen on this thing. Hold on one second, guys. Camera's frozen. So that's the situation for the Browns, is where the playoffs go. Any questions? Does anybody have any questions about the Browns' playoff status? It is clear. All you have to do, and I'm only saying all you have to do, not because the Steelers are an easy win, not by any means, but because you don't need help. Just if you win, you're in. Dave May says Bills beating the Pats tomorrow matters a lot. Yeah, it does a little bit. Not really. You don't need the help. You know what I mean? It doesn't really matter. What matters is next week. Week 17 is what matters. You're not playing for seeding because regardless of what happens, you're probably playing Pittsburgh. So that is the situation as far as the Browns' playoff hopes are. You win next week, you're in. That's all that matters. And more than likely, you're playing Pittsburgh. That's what matters. Luckily, the Colts lose every tiebreaker to the Browns. Every single tiebreaker. Now, is there a scenario where the Colts can win that division? Because if the Colts win that division, well, then that's a problem, right? Let me see. If the Titans lose, let's say the Titans, even if the Titans lose and the Colts win next week, the Titans have the tiebreaker. So, okay. So, Titans clinch the division already. That's it. All the Browns have to do, win next week, they're in. They don't need to rely on anybody. Don't need to scoreboard watch. Your fate's in your hand. And I know we've said this a couple of times this year, but this is literally a playoff game next week for the Cleveland Browns, at least. This question comes from OHIO, who says Stefanski called a bad game. We lost 4 wide receivers. If he chose to throw it 53 times, we have arguably the best backfield in the NFL. I get why people are saying that, but also keep in mind, like Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt had a combined 5 yards in the first half. Like, they could not run the ball. Nick Harris and Kendall Lamb were awful in run blocking today. Like, you just could not run the ball consistently. You couldn't do it. You could not trust it because the wide receivers were bad. Like, don't get me wrong, but your offensive line without Jedrick and without Wyatt Teller was awful. Awful. Absolutely awful. It does not matter if you have Chubb and Hunt if 5 New York Jets are penetrating the line of scrimmage and tackling you 5 yards behind. There's nothing Nick Chubb or Kareem Hunt can do about that. And that's what was happening. You know, that's what the entire identity of this team was gone. The timing in the passing routes, the bullying on the offensive line, it was all gone. It was taken away. It was going to be a rough battle for your offense, but for your defense, shouldn't have gave up 20 points. Your defense stinks. It can't be give up 20 points to the Jets stink. It can't be let Sam Darnold cut you up on 50% passing stink. It can't be let a dude run from 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage and somehow get 12 yards. It can't stink that bad. It did today. And if you stink that bad next week, yeah, playoffs are gone. Playoffs are gone if you stink that bad next week. If the offensive line has to start Kendall Lamb and Nick Harris, that's a problem against the Pittsburgh Steelers. It was already a problem versus the Jets. So, yeah, you need those things to come back. The good news is that Jedrick does not have the Rona. He don't got it. So hopefully he can come back. Hopefully Wyatt Teller can come back. All these people were telling me if we should rest people during the Jets. This is why I said no. This is why I said no. King Dead, who says, super angry they didn't move it to Monday. Dog, I already went on this. They weren't going to move it to Monday. There's no reason to move it to Monday. If they move it to Monday, we're still going to play the same game. The Browns probably lose, even if they move it to Monday. Like, it's not going to make that much of a difference. They could have moved it. They could have kept it. Fact is, nobody could have came back and played. It's 5 days. Everybody got close contact on Saturday. Nothing you can do about it. This was the situation you're going to be in. It stinks. It's short notice. Whatever. Beat the Steelers next week and make it not matter. That's all I got to say about that. You know, just beat the Steelers. People are going to try to roast you this week, act like they don't know the situation. Okay, yeah, it's whatever. But if you beat the Steelers next week, you're in. I know Steeler fans are probably in here all celebrating. We were celebrating after they lost to the Bengals. You know, we know how fast that can turn around. So let them celebrate. Let them be happy. But, you know, the real test is going to be who's going to be happy after what happens on Sunday. $5 super chat from Tony R, who says, people don't understand. The Jets sell out to stop the run. You have to beat them through the air. Yeah, this was a Baker game. They had to be able to beat them, and the truth is I don't think Baker trusted any of those wide receivers he was throwing to. Now, there's an argument to why that's reasonable, but, you know, I felt like to win this game, Baker just had to trust it and throw the ball deep to Marvin Hall or something to get them off of the line of scrimmage. They could not do that. They had not a single receiving threat that people took seriously. You know, we talk all this noise about Austin Hooper. He stinks. He's not catching the ball. We talked all this noise about Harrison Bryant. He can't catch. He stinks. He's not doing nothing. Theoretically, he should, but he doesn't. David Njoku, I mean, like if the other two can't catch, David Njoku can't see the ball because he can't catch. And at this point, we got Harrison Bryant out there instead of David Njoku. I'm starting to wonder what the difference is. Why? Why does it matter? David Njoku's a little bit more athletic. We might as well just have him out there. Malty Cushy says, can't blame this one on Baker. I'm not blaming it on Baker. I'm blaming this more on the defense. And the tight end's not stepping up. And the offensive line stinking, but, you know, those are circumstances. There's reasons for why all that happened. But, you know, if we thought Brantley or Marvin Hall were going to save us, it's not a good position to be in. Your tight ends did not step up. Kareem Hunt did not step up. He had a couple of drops. Nobody made a play. Now, the argument can be made for the offense that nobody was available to make a play. And that's why I'm going to be more lenient on the offense than I am on the defense. Because the defense had everybody available to make a play. Yeah, Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward available to make a play. Did they make a single play? Did they get a single turnover? No. Could not do it. And you lost the game. Lost the game because of it. By the way, people who are telling me that Sheldrick Redwine should get more snaps, please never tell me that again. He was awful. He stinks. He's terrible. I don't want to see him on the field anymore. I don't know why he's still with the team. It's been 3 coaching staffs. He stinks all 3 years. Why is he still here? he is proving why Sendejo is getting all those snaps. Because for the love of God, if he's out there, just throw to his corner on the cover 2. He won't go there. Like, he won't fill the zone. The hole shots aren't even hole shots in the cover 2 because he doesn't even crash to the side. He just sits there and watches a tight end be covered in the middle of the field and goes, okay, this is where I'm supposed to be. Get Sheldon Redwine off the field. Get him off the field. I don't need to see Sheldrick Redwine and Carl Joseph as the 2 deep safeties ever again this season. It never needs to happen. I don't ever want to see it. I don't ever want to see it this season. Next season especially. But I don't need to see that against Pittsburgh. They're useless. They're completely useless back there. They're going to be close to the ball. That's one thing. But, dog, if I see Sheldrick Redwine and Carl Joseph back there just, like, talking about we going to stop the threat from the top, like, they didn't do nothing. They stink. They stink. We talked all this mess about Andrew Sendejo. We wanted Andrew Sendejo out so bad. Now you're seeing why he has to be out there. Because, boy, Sheldrick stinks. He stunk against the Giants, by the way. I said that last week. I said he stunk. He's been stinking. There's a reason why Sendejo's out there. It's not a good reason, but it's a reason. Oh, the defense is terrible, but the offense, hopefully they show up next week. Hopefully they show up next week. And the blessing in all this is that you still got a chance in week 17 to play for the playoffs. Sure, it's disappointing that you did not get this game, but you got a chance. How you approach that chance, how you take that opportunity, how you let this loss affect you, if you're the Cleveland Browns, that's all on you. But if you're the team you say you are, if you're a playoff team, you show up next week and you beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I don't really care that it's a tough game. It's a home game. So, literally, it's put up or shut up time. It's put up or shut up time. Malty Cushy says, you think Coach can just unleash everything? He better. What the hell is he waiting on? Ain't nothing to wait on. By the way, shout out. We got over 1,000 people. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Thank you guys for coming in here. I know a lot of you guys are coming and watching me out of bad faith. I know there's a good chunk of y'all who are Raven fans, who are Steeler fans, who want to see me melt down and cry and, oh, woe is me, same old Browns. I know there's a bunch of y'all that want to see that you're not going to see it. You're not going to see it. But shout out to y'all. Thank y'all for showing up. Make sure if you're going to troll me, hit the like button at least. Don't be one of those. If you're trolling me, hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Ding that notification bell. Going to be talking about the Steelers and the Browns a lot this week. But we're going to get to some of these press conferences. I heard Baker Mayfield just took the podium. Oh, man. The only thing I can say about this is it wouldn't be the Cleveland Browns making the playoffs if it wasn't the most difficult way possible. And now we going to do this how the only way the Browns can do it. The only thing the Browns can do to do this is to do it the hard way. And now we're going to have to do it, man. That is what it is. Pittsburgh, Cleveland. Sweaty palms time. Playoffs are all. Probably still going to be on Sunday Night Football. Unbelievable. Oh, boy. Say Baker did a media call. It looks like that media call was 2 minutes long. That's not good. Oh, man, that's not good at all. Oh, no.
Yeah.
All right, we got a couple super chats I want to get to before I get to this press conference here. Nate Rohr says, hey, bro, win versus Pittsburgh next week. We're in the playoffs. What more could you want? As a Cleveland fan, of course, it will come down to this. Yeah, you know what? who thought the Browns were going to make the playoffs and not do it in hard mode, right? Of course. All right, let's get to this Baker Mayfield press conference. Apparently it was short. Hopefully he didn't do anything. It's going to be on first take or something.
What happens, you have to adapt and change. It's not an excuse. Listen, I'm just going to go ahead and answer all the questions right now. There's no excuse. But yeah, it sucks that we didn't have our guys, but we believe in the guys that we have in this locker room, no matter who it is. That's why they're here. That's why they're Cleveland Browns. That's why they were brought here. That's why we, suited them out. We believe in them, and I told every single one of those guys that. There's no excuse. Plain and simple, I failed this team. I put 3 balls on the ground. 2 of them that, they recovered, and then the other that on the 4th down obviously needed to just hold on to the damn ball. So plain and simple, I have to hold on to the damn ball. I failed this team. We had exactly what we needed to win this game, and I didn't do good enough. And that's it. There's nothing. I'm proud of these guys for being able to step up. I mean, these guys didn't even think they were going to play. So for anybody to criticize them, shame on you. Put it on me for not doing my job, for not playing at a high level like I should have, for not getting these guys going and finishing out this game. So got to hold on to the ball during a QB sneak. Obviously, Kareem was in the right spot at the right time, grabbed the ball and tried to advance it, but you can't advance a fumble under 2 minutes in the 4th quarter. So it is what it is. This one's on me, but here's the thing: this one's going to sting for a day or two, but we have the Steelers to win and get in. Yes, I'm aware of what could have happened if we would have won today. I'm well aware of that. But it is what it is. So I'm going to have to roll with these punches. Backs against the wall, and we have to win to get in. And you know what? This group fought today, but I didn't do enough. I play well enough for us to win, and that's it.
Oh, shit. Oh, boy. He is not happy with himself. I don't blame him. Super chat from Cody Donkey, who says, poorly officiated game, why hit on defensive receiver wasn't called. Have no idea, man. Don't know. Chris with the $5 super chat got to step up next week and win. No other choice. That's what it is. Right? He could be angry, and I get why he's angry, but he's got to win next week. He's got to do it. If you're going to beat the Steelers, we're going to need a lot from him. So hopefully he shows up. Henry Goodburn, sorry about that, says, send a $10 super chat, says, honestly, even if we missed the playoffs, if you told me we would go 10-6 last year, I'd be happy. But that first half fumble call, that was all terrible. Yeah, And look, I'll get retrospective about this whenever the season's over. Michael Matique asks, is Teller coming back next week? Now, the situation with Teller and Harrison is they could be back next week. They could not. The realistic thing about this is, like, we're not going to know who's going to be playing on this game till Thursday, because that's when we'll get the close contact guys back. If anybody's coming back, that's when we'll get. That's when we'll know about all that. Yeah, Baker. I don't think he took questions. I think he just had that statement, left.
What happened?
He's probably going to get fined also for that, because I don't think you're allowed to do that. So he's definitely going to get fined for that. And it'd be worth it if he wins. But if he doesn't, then, it stinks. All right, let's get to Kevin Stefanski. His press.
-2 in the turnover battle. Can't do that. Penalties, drops, not good. And that's going to get you beat, and it did. So credit to the Jets. As I understand it, next week you win and you're in. So all the work that the guys have put in this season, okay, we still control our own destiny, so to speak. So when we show up, we'll watch the tape tomorrow, and we show up on Wednesday, we got to put a great plan together, and we got to go to work. Got to get back to the basics, because that just wasn't good enough today, obviously. With that, I'll take any questions.
Thank you, Coach. First question goes to Tom Withers.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Kevin. I can't imagine how challenging for the staff the past 24 hours have been. Did you have to completely change the game plan based on losing as many players as you did?
No, and that has nothing to do with the result of this game. We got beat. We had plenty of guys. We had all the guys we needed, and we didn't get it done.
Disappointed in the way you were not able to run the ball? Did they just kind of stack the box and make it really tough for you there?
Yeah, disappointed in not scoring points, Tom. Didn't run it efficiently, didn't throw it well enough. So got to go back and look at it and find some answers, because those are the type of things you got to have an answer for it, or the other team's going to keep doing it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Next is Jake Trotter.
Yeah. Hey, Kevin, you guys have had players test positive, throughout the season and really have done a good job of containing it to that player after contact tracing. Why was this situation so different in where you lost so many guys for this game as a result of this particular positive test?
Yeah, Jake, I'm not going to get into the specifics of that. I will only tell you that we're going to work real hard to make sure something like that doesn't happen again.
Thanks, Jake. Jeff Shadell, you're up.
Hey, Kevin, it was obvious that the Jets were prepared for the run. But my question is, only 8 runs between Nick and...
By the way, guys, just going to let you know, you're not going to run the ball a ton next week versus Pittsburgh. $50 super chat from another $50 super chat from Feeling Dangerous, who says, what do the Browns have to do to beat the Steelers? I just don't like it anymore. Baker's going to have to play better. Your wide receiver's going to have to be healthy. You're going to have to be able to move the ball. But if you can't move the ball through the air against the Steelers, you're not going to be able to run the ball against them. So, I get people are upset because they threw the ball 50-something times, right? But keep in mind, could not move the ball. It wasn't like they were averaging 6 yards a carry. They literally had negative rush yards. They tried to, but they fell behind. They continuously got behind the sticks because of stupid penalties, and that's how the game rolled. That's it. And guess what? Against Pittsburgh, you're going to have to throw. And you're going to have to do it well. 5 touchdown, so to win these games next week, we need Baker to show up, man. We need him to show up like he has for most of this season.
and Kareem in that first half. Did you think maybe you should have called more run plays?
Yeah, I'll look at it, Jeff, and I wish we scored points. Whether running, throwing, doesn't matter. I wish we were able to convert some third downs, stay on the field, but certainly, we're trying to score points any which way we can.
Thank you, Jeff. We'll go to Scott Pedrick.
Hey, Kevin, with Jedrick Wills being inactive today, was that at all about the concern that he might eventually test positive for COVID?
Just as I understand it, Scott, we're just following the protocol. So I don't know if that was the concern. I just know he wasn't available to us today.
And how much do you think you missed those two starters on the O-line? Gave up more sacks than you usually give up?
No, just we had, again, it had nothing to do with the guys that we didn't have. We got flat out beat, flat out outcoached with the players we had, myself included.
Thanks.
We'll go to Mary Kay Cabot.
Yeah, Coach, can you talk about, the game that Baker had, obviously trying to hold it together under trying conditions, but, losing some fumbles, including one there at the end. Can you just address all that?
Yeah, Mary Kay, I want to look at the tape before making a full assessment of any of our players. We gotta take care of the ball. I know Baker understands that. Trust me, I put those guys in.
Hunter Thornsberry asks, since Baker fumbled the ball backwards, couldn't Hunt advance it? Yeah. It depends on what they call it, right? Because they said it was a fumble, and in all reality, it was a fumble. It just went backwards. But if the argument there is that either if the ball goes backwards and does not touch the ground, the argument is it cannot be a fumble. It is then a lateral by definition. That's what the argument is. Now, there's some argument there. If you're going letter of the law, that's the argument. If you're going spirit of the law, that was clearly a fumble by Baker Mayfield. It just went backwards and didn't hit the ground, but it was advanced by Kareem Hunt. Therefore, the 2-minute drill fumble rules come into play. Now, in all reality, if it weren't going for the Browns, I would be understanding on how that rule was implemented because it was clearly a fumble. It was not intended to be a pass. It never looked like it was intended to be a pass. So it was pretty clearly a fumble. it went backwards, and only by coincidence did it not hit the ground, and Kareem Hunt scooped it up and got the first down. So since that is the case, I get why they ruled what they ruled, but I also get why people are frustrated about it. Ultimately, Baker don't need to be letting go of the ball. And you know what? Kevin Stefanski needs to know better than to call that, because that's not the first time Baker has fumbled on a QB sneak. Not the first time he's fumbled in a QB sneak wearing the all-white uniforms against a terrible team. Second, he did this against the Jaguars. I get they had tremendous success doing it all game. It was the only rushing play that's been working. But in that situation, you put Janovich back there, you give the ball to Nick Chubb, and you get a yard. Or you don't. But if you lose that way, you live with it. You lose how you did with that one, it's a little bit tougher to swallow. That's my thoughts on that.
Some bad spots today, so I'll look at how I can be better, but we can't come on the road and end up -2 and expect to win.
Thanks, Mary. Thanks, Mary Kay. Doug Maurice, you're next.
Kevin, not counting the trick play touchdown for them, but the other 2 touchdown passes, guys seem to be running open a little bit. Maybe one looked like a little bit of a pick play, but we've seen that at times this year. Why do you think it is here this late in the season, guys are still getting open for touchdowns against your defense?
Because our defense sucks.
Yeah, I think you're going to look at the tape and you're going to say, I know we did get picked at one time. I'm not exactly sure what happened with the corner and the safety on the one touchdown, but ultimately it's going to come down to doing your job and playing with the proper technique, including your alignment. And that's the type of things you got to do to be sound in the back end.
Thanks, Doug. Tony Zarrella, you're next.
Kevin, I know you're not going to put it on the guys who were not there today, but I mean, it can't be that simple to just plug guys in. What affected Baker the most, do you think? The offensive line or the receivers that he probably hasn't worked with very much?
No, I think you'll talk and he'll agree with what I'm telling you guys, is that we had all the players we needed. We had plenty of active. We trust the guys that were playing today. We trust them. That's why they're Cleveland Browns. So that's really not the story here. We just didn't do enough. Better way of putting it, we did too many things that a losing team does, and that's what that's what you get when you do that.
Thanks, Tony. To Nate Ulrich.
Hey, Kevin, why'd you like Baker on the sneak there? What did you tell him afterward?
Yeah, it was inches, Nate, and feel good about that. Again, we just can't lose the ball on a sneak. Just can't happen. It's happened twice.
And stop calling it, bro.
Yeah, Kevin, obviously this was disappointing.
Just stop calling it. Why do you keep calling it in these key situations? Like, please, for 2 times is enough to know you can't keep calling that play. Stop calling it. Stop. Like, honestly, if you're doing a QB sneak, the whole team knows. Just put Nick Chubb in at quarterback and RB sneak him at that point. Stop calling it. Make the adjustment. Next question comes from Hunter Thornsberry. He says, if the Bills win tomorrow, the Steelers automatically have the 3 seed and will most likely sit their starters. I don't know what the Steelers going to do. Look, the Steelers got their own problem. They lost to the Bengals a couple of weeks ago. I get that they just beat the Colts, but they probably want to keep up any type of offensive momentum that they can at this point. Do not expect the Steelers to just roll over and let you into the playoffs.
Point, and if you guys score, there at the end or win this game, you're in the playoffs with a week to go. But like you said, you still control your destiny. If you guys win next week and you guys are in, how do you bounce back from what happened today? Get your guys refocused and get them focused on still what's ahead of them.
Yeah, I mean, what's ahead of us, Jake, is everything that we set out to do this season. It's all still right there. So we got to make sure that we are very honest about the tape tomorrow when we look at it together, and then identify, correct, move on. And then Wednesday, we're getting back to work.
Thanks, Jake. Do we have any more questions for Coach Stefanski? Nate Ulrich.
Kevin, earlier in the game, it looked like Miles Garrett had a strip sack and Malcolm Smith might have had a touchdown. What did you see on it? You threw the challenge flag. What was your immediate reaction to all of it?
Yeah, obviously challenged it because I thought it was a fumble. I understand why they stayed with the call. When they blow the whistle like they do and make it incomplete, it's really hard to go away from that call. So had they not blown the whistle, I think it would have been hard to overturn the other way. So that's just that's what happened there.
We'll take two more, Doug Maurice, Mary Kay. Doug, go ahead.
Kevin, when you lose that many receivers so close to the game, can you just take us through a little bit the thought process? Is it mostly plug in guys and do what you were going to do anyway? Obviously, you went to the tight ends a lot today. You used them a lot. How much are you changing the plan, and how much are you just plugging in guys and sort of keeping the plan?
What do you think he did?
I think, Doug, it was a little too late in the week to wholesale change anything, and we didn't need.
What are people asking him? Did he change the game plan? They found out as the plane was literally leaving to go to New York. There was no adjustment that could be made. Like, dudes had to get Ubered to the airport to make the plane because they thought they were going to be watching it from home when the team left on Saturday and ended up playing on Sunday. What do they mean? Adjustments. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
So those guys were in all the meetings. They were at the walkthroughs. They were at practice. They understood the plan. We made some modifications as anybody would in that situation. But the guys understood what we were doing.
And the final question goes to Mary Kay Cabot.
Obviously, with such a big game that you have coming up, when you're in, do you have some thought or knowledge to the fact that you should be able to get all of these guys back that were the close contacts of BJ Goodson's?
Yeah, Mary Kay, I just got to see how it plays out. I think we're following the protocols. I know those guys.
All right, man. He don't know. How would he know who has it or not? How would he know? He's not Dr. Kevin Stefanski. He's Coach Kevin Stefanski. He has no idea. All right, so I'm just in an irritable mood. It's been a bad weekend. A lot of terrible things has happened. I'd want to mention the passing of professional wrestler. If you're an AEW fan, you know him as Brody Lee. If you're a WWE fan, you know him as Luke Harper. I know a lot of you guys watch wrestling on this channel as well as I do. Tremendous wrestler. From all accounts, seems like a tremendous human being. Would like to say my condolences to his family. Rest in peace, Brody Lee. It's just a bad weekend, man. This year sucks. In a few days, this year will be over. That's all I can say about that. Let's go to Denzel Ward here.
Every loss is a tough loss. We all play this game to win the game. And, we can't make no excuses about guys being out. Players got to step up. And me personally, I know I didn't play my best game. And I'm one of the reasons that we did lose this game. I needed to play better, and this wasn't one of my best games.
Thanks, Nate. Doug Maurice, you're next.
Denzel, the 11-yard touchdown pass to Herndon in the middle there, was there a coverage mix-up at all there, or what happened that he got so wide open?
Yeah, got to be on that.
Do you know what were the who should have gone?
Translation: our secondary stinks. Our safeties suck.
With him, or what should the coverage have been there?
Just got to be on it. So, next question. Got to be on it.
Next question goes to Mary Kay Cabot.
Yeah, Denzel, what do you feel like you could or should have done better in this game? What did you need to do?
I just didn't play that well, just technique wise, coverage wise, and just gotta watch the film, get better. And
real quick, because I see some idiots in the chat. If you're using a game where Baker Mayfield did not throw any touchdowns, because he had no active wide receivers on the roster. If you're using that as your big "I'm gonna dunk on Baker Mayfield" moment, you really suck at dunking on Baker Mayfield. You are terrible at it. You are no Colin Cowherd. You suck at it. You're terrible at it. You don't even know how to dunk on the guy. If you're like, he didn't throw a touchdown when he had no wide receivers available, you are a moron. Let's continue.
Come back better next week.
Is there a particular play that you're kind of kicking yourself over?
Just throughout the
wait, did I miss
throughout the
somebody's
entire
super chat?
game is just
Hold on, did I miss a super chat? Let me know if I missed a super chat. Oh, is that it? No, okay, I read that one. Okay, I didn't miss one. Let me know if I missed
things
one.
I should have done better, plays I should have made, and just got to go back and just critique myself. But I just know just off the performance that I had and how I feel that I didn't play a good game.
Thanks, Mary Kay. We'll go to Scott Petrick.
Hey, Denzel, I know you're not using it as an excuse, but how weird or bizarre were the last 24 hours? The delayed flight, having the early morning walkthrough, how strange or difficult was that?
It was different, but I mean, that's all of 2020. All of 2020 has been very different for a lot of people. So, I mean, we're not making no excuses. They got us, they beat us, on to the next week.
And how disappointing you guys had been so good about not having close contacts, and to have so many guys this late in the season, how disappointing is that?
Yeah, I mean, it happens. That's life. I know those guys wanted to be out there and playing with everybody, but some things are out of their control. And that's what happened. Just got to go with it from there.
Thanks.
Thanks, Scott. Jeff Shadell, you're up.
So Denzel, apparently next week you guys win, you're in. So how difficult will it be, or how do you turn your focus right away to the Steelers, knowing you have your own control here?
All our focus is on Pittsburgh now. Just got to go into the work week, focus, and critique ourselves from this past game. And
yeah, if you win next week, you're in. That's the deal. If you win next week, you're in. If you lose next week, obviously you're probably not in. There's some scenarios where you could get in, but it'll take a bunch of major upsets. But if you win next week, you're in. So you got to do what you got to do. Win that game, you're in. 11-5 gets you in. If you lose that game, you don't. So that's both great and bad at the same time. But you can still make the playoffs. Just beat the Steelers. And you know what? The Ravens, they dealt with all of this stuff. They had all these excuses. Remember that weird game they had against the Steelers? They had to play with, like, RG3 out there. They lost that game, but they rallied after that game, and they started playing good football after that. Maybe this is our point. Maybe this is where we rally it and the defense starts to play well and the offense starts to play well right at the right time. Maybe. Maybe that's it.
watch Pittsburgh and go in there and try to pull out the win.
Thanks, Jeff. Douglas Maurice, you're up.
Denzel, along those lines, here you are. You're going to week 17, playing your rival, knowing that if you beat them, you will make the playoffs.
I can learn to understand.
Season to be.
I can learn to understand.
Oh my God,
even after this disappointing loss, how does that feel, knowing you have sort of your fate in your own hands?
Yeah, it feels good. Like you said, we got our fate in our own hands, and we just got to go in and take care of business next week. Everybody come in locked in and focused, and see where we are at the end of the year.
Thanks, Doug. We'll go to Nate Ulrich.
Denzel, what did you think of the Myles Garrett strip sack / incomplete pass? What was your view of it? Did you think he had a touchdown there?
Yeah, I thought it was a play for us, and I thought the call was opposite of what the refs had called. But we just got to play the next play. If we don't get the call, don't get the call.
Thanks, Nate. Mary Kay Cabot, you're up.
Yeah, Denzel, you guys are probably going to face some more adversity this game leading into the Steelers game, because the way that I understand it, you might not get some of those close contact guys back possibly until Thursday. And then, of course, nobody really knows what's going to happen with the whole situation. But do you guys think that you handled adversity this week, or didn't handle your adversity this week the way you should have? And will that help inform how you try to pull it together this coming week?
Yeah, our main focus is on winning the game, and we failed to do that this week. And so I mean that's where our main focus is. Things are gonna happen in life, and we just gotta put our focus on the Pittsburgh now and take care of business next week.
We'll take one more question for Denzel. It goes to Scott Petrick.
All right, I see this guy saying Deshauna Ransom, who says the Browns fan, but be realistic. The defense cannot beat the Steelers because we just lost to the Jets. Bro, the Steelers just lost to the Bengals on Monday Night Football. They just beat the Colts. What does that tell you? Stop taking yourself out the game before you play it.
Hey, Denzel, I know Baker takes these losses tough and puts a lot on his shoulders. Have you seen him after the game, and what would you tell him, especially following that fumble late there?
Yeah, I mean, we all played a part in it. It's not just Baker. We all played a part in it, and we just got to come back better next week, like I said. But, yeah, it's definitely not just on him.
Thanks.
Thank you, Scott. Denzel, thank you for the time.
All right. Oh, man. Yeah, just the questions have been what they've been with the media, but, everybody defends it. Just big picture ahead. Okay, guys? Big picture ahead. You beat the Steelers, you're getting in. And we could talk all the livelong day about how this team has flaws and how they can't beat the Steelers because of this and that. The fact of the matter is that this team can beat the Steelers. It's not impossible. Like, you can definitely beat the Steelers. You have issues. Definitely have issues. But that don't mean you can't beat the Steelers. Again, we said this team's a good but flawed team. What about the Steelers are more unbeatable than the Titans? Or the Colts, for that matter. I bet the Steelers didn't think they were going to beat the Colts this week. I think they got beat down by Cincinnati and Ryan Finley. But they did. They bounced back. So that's the question. How are you going to bounce back? Are you going to believe in this team to bounce back? Or are you going to do woe is me, same old Brown stuff? Because if that's what you want to do, then please go cheer for the Browns only when they stink. We got a question from Lydia. Lydia says, and I'm going to find your super chat here. Thank you for doing these video post games in 2020. It can suck. Remember, you're trying to manage your emotions following a loss with no family or friends around. Yes, thank you for that one, Lydia. Appreciate that. But the ideal that the Browns cannot beat the Steelers next week is goofy. The idea that the Browns will the idea that the Browns are most definitely 100% a lock to beat the Steelers next week is also goofy. Just like it was goofy to write off the Jets. Jets have now beat 2 10-win teams. Unbelievable. In a row. Don't have words for it. They have, after going 0 and whatever, they have beaten 2 10-win teams. It's the weirdest season of all time for them. But here's what we know. Yeah, pain. Here's what we know. You win next week, you're in. You lose next week, you're out. And you know what? Going into this week, that's the same situation we thought we were going to be in anyways. Right? Did we not think it was very possible that we would be playing either for the AFC North Championship or being out the playoffs? Now you're in that same situation, just, no AFC North Championship on the line. Thank you for that, Henry Goodburn. Well, yeah, that's the situation. Win you're in, lose you're out, put it all on the line, stack it all up, and get as healthy as possible. Hopefully you have Wyatt Teller back. Hopefully you have Jedrick Wills back. Hopefully you get all your wide receivers back. And it really don't matter. They come back on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. As long as they're back, you have a much better chance. Defensively, maybe Ronnie Harrison comes back. You're not going to have B.J. Goodson, but I don't know how much worse they can play than what they did this week. They've not had great games all season, but this was one of the worst. One of the worst they've played all week. Colin Cowherd going to have a field day from Brandon Bucks. Who cares what Colin Cowherd's going to say? Like, honestly, who cares? Who cares? He's going to roast the Browns. He's going to blame it on the – who gives it? Who cares, man? I want to be in the playoffs. I don't care what Colin Cowherd has to think. Misfit Culture TV says Cardiac Kids 2.0. When you're in, it's that simple. I believe this team is built different. This isn't the same team that we've known for the last 2 years. Let's hope. Let's hope. Winning, you're in. Next week, it's going to be a big week. Playoff week. Playoffs start early for the Cleveland Browns. That's how we're going to approach this. Next week, the playoffs start. Browns trying to make the playoffs. They win, they're in, they play the Steelers again, and then they get Pittsburgh at Pittsburgh, and they also get an opportunity to get that embarrassment off their back. So either the Browns in the next 2 weeks are going to right their wrongs and clear some very big embarrassments off of their back, or they're going to end the season in a very frustrating way that's probably going to get Joe Woods fired. We will see which it will be. But that is what it is. The situation is what it is. I don't know if I have much else to add. I don't think I do. What I do want to say is also, hey, if you're interested or if you have nothing to do on New Year's Eve, I am planning on doing a end of 2020 stream to kick this no good, no fun, awful, terrible, historically awful year off in the right way by streaming. And remember, this stream will not be archived on this channel. So if you catch it, you catch it. But if you miss it, you miss it and you won't get it back. But a live stream, one time only. I'll be doing drinks, playing games. I'll have some guests on. I'll be doing a lot of things for that stream, so check it out. Henry Goodburn says we need Miles. No, we don't. We don't need that. So I hope you guys check that out later this week. It's going to be playing a lot of games. I just got the new Series X, so I'm going to be playing Madden on it. Probably do like a challenge there, a couple drinking games. So if that sounds fun to you, check it out there. Let's try to have some fun in 2020 before everything ends. Let's start off this new year right. Let's start it off with the bang. And I would love to start it off with you guys who have helped me so much, supported me so much. It made this year pretty bearable for the most part, at least for me. And hopefully I've helped make your year just a little bit better. Look, bad news is that the Browns choked against the Jets. You know, they stunk. They lost to the Jets. That is what it is. Good news is you can correct all of that by beating Pittsburgh next week. Winning, you're in. Playoffs start now. This is it. If you don't like this feeling you got in your gut, you don't like this nervousness, you don't like playoff football, go cheer for a mediocre team. Go cheer for a bad team because that's what you want to cheer for. But if you want that uncomfortable stuff, you want that sweaty stuff, you want that kind of football that has stakes and consequences that makes you feel like your gut has been punched at the end of the game because it didn't go your way or elated because it did, then this is what we're doing. This is playoff football. It starts this week, and we're going to find out exactly what the Cleveland Browns are made of. Are they a team that can be in the playoffs and do it? Is Baker Mayfield somebody who can step up in a playoff situation? Is Baker Mayfield the franchise quarterback, the guy, the dude that's going to make up for his wrongs this year? Is he going to be that dude? Is he ready to stand up to some playoff pressure? Is Kevin Stefanski ready to stand up to some playoff pressure? Well, we're going to find out next week. Playoff game, pretty much for the Browns. Next week against the Steelers. It don't matter who the Steelers playing. You got to beat them to get in. And then once you do that, you probably got to beat them again if you want to win a playoff game. But that's the situation for the Cleveland Browns. That's where we're at. That's what we're going to do. Got another super chat from Heath Tankis, who says, shout out from Australia. We wanted meaningful games. We got them. Playoffs start next week. Let's go Browns. Love the channel, mate. He's absolutely right. This one comes from Misfit Culture. It says, I've been looking at the Browns' Twitter. Jarvis and Richard are hungry to play next week. I said it's a big game. They better bring it. We're going to need them. That's what it is. If you want big games, it comes with big pressure. It comes with nervousness. It comes with sweaty palms. If this makes you not want to cheer for the Browns, then don't. Cheer for some other mediocre team. Cheer for a non-Power 5 school. Cheer for a football team that will never have or never play a game of anything meaningful ever again if that's what you want. Because you can have that. You know, Toledo and Kent State are looking for fans every year. They are, because they don't play meaningful football games. So Browns are finally playing meaningful football games at the end of the season. This is what it's all about. This is what it's all about right here against Pittsburgh. Is there any other way, any better way to seal your playoff fate than to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers to get in? And then you know what? The next week you go to Pittsburgh and you do it again. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I want to see. We can either curl away and tell ourselves it ain't happening, or we can bow up, look this challenge in the eye, and say, we ready for it. We're going to see what this team's going to do. It's going to be a big week for this franchise. Big week for this quarterback. Big week for the whole team. We're going to see what everybody is made out of. What the fans are made out of, right? We say we the best fans in the NFL. We better prove it. I don't want to see this team get a slow start on Sunday and then the fans start booing. Nah. 4 quarters. You got to stick with them. I want to see what everybody's made out of. Are we tough or not? Is this team tough? Is this coaching staff tough? Is this quarterback tough? Is this offense tough? Answer those questions next week. That's what it's all about. But that's it for this stream. I want to thank everybody who came in and dropped a like and subscribed and did everything, all the super chatters. Hopefully I got to everybody. But again, guys, thank you for watching. Have a great day. Look for my post-game recap video on Monday. And have a good night.